We got the call at 9 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. The job I'd been bidding for was ours. It was our first for a multinational energy company, and it could mean a lot of work for us in the future. We had to install large solar panels in a major new solar park here in Brazil. The client, Lauren, was under pressure to get the work going before their year end. So I set off for their offices.
It was a straightforward job, repairing a leaking pipe on a heat exchanger at one of our refineries in Malaysia. I called Jack, a contractor who'd done this kind of job for us before. He was in the neighborhood, so he dropped in to talk about the work. We hardly needed a meeting, but it was nice to catch up.
Lauren and her team were tough on costs, but negotiating the contract details went pretty smoothly. We agreed that to save costs and time, we would use the crane that was already on site and being used by another contractor. So we included that in the HSE plan and prepared to get the job started.
Jack and I went through the details and agreed that his lead in Malaysia, Rashid, would get the job done efficiently and safely. We assumed that the info from a previous job could be used, an existing work plan and the standard risk assessment. It was a couple of pages long and would be adequate for this job. Everyone knew what to do as they'd done this job before. So we raised a purchase order and turned our attention to getting the work done.
I called Gabriel, our site manager, to talk through the job and about how we could use the existing crane to move the solar panels into place. I said that a lift plan will be part of the contract HSE plan, so let's get going and make this one happy client. But when Gabriel and his team got to the site, they had some doubts about whether the crane was suitable for the job and whether or not they should consult a specialist. But it was there, successfully working on site, and time was tight. So they decided that the best course of action was to push on. And that's when things went wrong. We were trying hard to please a new client, and suddenly, one of my team was being rushed to hospital.
Rashid's team arrived and started to isolate the heat exchanger. They set a plug and prepared to insert a spade into the pipeline. But the risk assessment and permit to work were missing some vital controls. So Rashid's team and operations had an incomplete understanding of what was needed. And an incorrect plug was used. A small pressure buildup meant that residual hydrocarbons started to leak from the pipe. Rashid's alarm alerted him to the danger. But it was too late. The hardest thing was dealing with the human consequences. Contractors are part of the team. We all rely on them. We should all work as one close team.
Contracts are necessary, and we have to make sure they're tailored to manage the operational risks. We can't expect people on the front line to read contracts. They rely on strong plans and barriers to keep them safe. And you need to visit the site and ensure that the words get put into action. After the incident, I met with Lauren. She mentioned that she'd been very focused on timeframes. I said I was too eager to please because I wanted more business. Now, we get all the necessary people involved in developing a contract HSE plan, from tender to award to the job itself, and we don't rush it.
Whether it's a job safety analysis or detailed contract HSE plan, the contents are essential on all jobs of all sizes. No matter how big or small, difficult or routine the job is, you have to manage the risk and make sure you put an agreed contract HSE plan in place, or an equivalent document, and that it reflects reality. 2 pages or 20, it doesn't matter. It has got to be fit for purpose, cover the scope of work, and agreed by both parties.
There shouldn't be a gap between our desks and the workers on site. The contract HSE plan is a bridge that joins us. Nothing is assumed, everything is defined.
Don't leave it to words on paper, and listening to contractors is vital. So, sites must be visited, both before work starts and during the job, to verify it can and is being done according to plan.
We all say we want zero incidents, but it's easy to say. It is achieved through action, at your desk and on site.
Now I'm happy to take the time to get a risk assessment right. If we're not sure, then work is stopped, and we review and rewrite.
I never assume, never expect, but always check and listen to people on the ground. Is the contract HSE plan fit for purpose? Is it being put into practice? Can it be improved? Has something changed? Do we need to update it?
Break down the walls of your office, your conference room, your building, and turn your words into actions.
Only together can contractors and clients deliver work safely, so everyone goes home unharmed every single day.
Only together can we, you and I, protect people from harm and save lives.
Okay, we can all make mistakes, especially when we're under time pressure. We thought that using the available crane would be okay, but we should have consulted a specialist. And I hadn't had time to visit the site, so I didn't know about their concerns.
When nothing bad happens, you get used to nothing bad happening. And the fact that it never does becomes normal. We'd both planned and done this job before, so we thought we understood it well. We just assumed that all the usual safety barriers were in place. We use experienced professionals with good track records, people who know what they're doing. Even so, you should never assume anything.
I was entirely focused on impressing our new client. Our first job for them had to go well. Gabriel knew we were under time pressure. It presented him with a dilemma. Stopping the work would add cost and delay the project, making us look bad in front of our new client. That's how one of our workers found himself in hospital. And we missed the deadline anyway.
Both Jack and I assumed that Rashid's team and the local operations team would have checked and updated the existing risk assessment and permit to work to cover all the risks. We should have ensured that Rashid understood that residual hydrocarbons could still be present and been specific about exactly what the job needed.
The correct way of working was specified in the lift plan. You'd think that would be enough. But all the words in the world can't protect you if they're not put into practice. The contract HSE plan and the related documents are important, but they must reflect reality. You write it, agree it, print out copies, and expect it to do the job for you. But it doesn't work that way. A contract HSE plan needs to be made real and become a dynamic, living document that defines who does what for both client and contractor. And it's crucial to go and see that it is working on site, because you only know controls are in place when you verify them.
A purchase order isn't enough. An existing risk assessment could be a good starting point, but it's got to be adapted and developed so it matches the exact scope and the risks of the new job, not the last one. Each plan is unique. It must be properly thought through to set your workers up for success. Some of them may be completely new to the types of jobs you're asking them to do. Remember, words alone don't keep people safe. but they can build bridges to a deeper understanding of what's required to keep everyone safe on site. The HSE plan must be a living and scalable document that starts at the beginning of tender, evolves as the job's awarded, and then gets implemented on site.
Identifying high-risk activities is essential. It helps to prepare for the job's specific risk assessment that can be explained during the kick-off and toolbox meetings. High-risk activities should be known to all involved.
They should be the words that bring us all together, because only together can we keep people safe.